Welcome to the Explainer. Today we're diving into a tiny piece of tech that's kicked off a huge revolution for makers, students, and inventors all over the world, the Arduino.
If you've ever seen a really clever DIY project, a custom robot, or maybe even some interactive art, there's a really good chance an Arduino was the secret sauce making it all happen. It's this super versatile, powerful little brain inside thousands of amazing inventions.
But what is it really? How does this little blue board manage to do so much? Well, that's exactly what we're going to break down right here in this explainer. Okay, so here's our game plan. We're going to start with the big idea behind the Arduino, then we'll properly meet the famous Uno board. After that, we'll take a look at its brain, figure out how it thinks, and finally, see how it connects to the real world. All right, first things first. What in the world is an Arduino? Let's get right to the core of it. At its heart, Arduino is an open-source electronics platform. Now, open source and easy to use are the two magic phrases here. It means anyone, and I mean anyone, can use it, change it, and share it, all because the hardware and software are designed to be super user-friendly. So why did it get so popular? Well, it's not just one thing. It's this perfect mix. It's simple and accessible, even if you've never touched electronics before. The software is built for beginners. The boards themselves are pretty cheap compared to other options, and maybe most importantly, is just a fantastic tool for learning new stuff. Okay, now that we've got the big picture, let's zoom in and meet the star of today's show, the Arduino Uno. Seriously, if you're going to start anywhere, this is the place to be. And here it is, the Arduino Uno. This is the board you've probably seen everywhere, and for good reason. It's the most popular, it's tough, and it's perfect whether you're just starting out or you've been doing this for years. Now let's really get to the heart of it, the brain of the whole operation, a microcontroller called the ATmega328P. This one little chip is a huge reason for Arduino's success because it's this awesome blend of power, low cost, and simplicity. I mean, every single thing the Arduino does, every calculation, every decision, every light it blinks, it's all being controlled by this one chip. It is the command center for the entire board. That name, ATmega328P, might just look like a jumble of letters and numbers, but the 328 part is actually a little code. The 32 tells you it has 32 kilobytes of flash memory. That's where your code lives, and the 8 tells us it's an 8-bit processor. The chip also has this little bit of special memory called EEPROM. You can think of it like the board's long-term memory. See, most memory gets wiped clean when you unplug it. But EEPROM holds on to its data. It's perfect for saving settings or logging information even after the power's off. Okay, so the chip has memory to store your instructions. But that's only half the story, right? How does it actually think? To get that, we need to unpack what that 8-bit processor thing really means. So you hear this term 8-bit all the time, especially with retro gaming, right? But what does it actually mean for how a processor works? It sounds super technical, but the idea behind it is actually pretty simple. Let's start with the absolute simplest case, a 1-bit processor. It can only understand two things, a 0 or a 1. Think of it like a light switch. It's either on or it's off. That's it, two possible values. Okay, now let's level up to a 2-bit processor. Just by adding one more bit, we suddenly have 4 possible combinations, 00, 01, 10, and 11. We've literally doubled the amount of information it can handle at once. And this is where it all comes together. When we apply that same logic to our 8-bit Arduino, we're talking 2 to the power of 8, which gives us 256 possible values. This is what lets it do more complex stuff, like smoothly dim an LED through 256 steps of brightness, or read a sensor that gives a whole range of different outputs. So we've got this brain that can think and process information, but how does it actually connect to the physical world? The answer is in those rows of little holes along the edges. Those are the pins, and they're basically the Arduino's senses and its limbs. The Arduino Uno actually has 32 pins, and they each have their own job. You can pretty much break them down into 3 main groups: digital pins, analog pins, and power pins. Let's dig into that a little. You've got 14 digital pins. These are like simple on-off switches, perfect for things like turning a light on or checking if a button has been pressed. Now, 6 of those have a cool trick called PWM, which lets them blink on and off super fast to fake an analog signal. That's how you can dim an LED instead of just turning it on or off. Then you have 6 dedicated analog pins, which are made for reading sensors that have a range of values, like a temperature sensor. And finally, you've got the power pins, which, well, they provide the power for all your components.
So, after that quick tour, what are the big takeaways? First, Arduino is an open-source platform that's truly built for everyone. Second, the Uno is an amazing starting point. It's simple, it's tough, and it's surprisingly powerful. And third, at the end of the day, it's an incredibly versatile little brain for pretty much any creative project you can imagine.
When you really step back and look at it, this little blue board holds just an incredible amount of potential. It's all packed into just a few square inches. So the only real question left is, what are you going to create with it?